Hello, I'm April Brown with Zelken Financial Services, LLC, and I'm back with the tip, today's illuminated point. So, I recently had a conversation with someone who was telling me why they could not retire. And I thought, that's interesting. And so it got me to thinking, and I was like, okay, from the conversation, I was like, what's really going on and why can't you retire? And so what I realized was the person was talking about something I phrase or coin as pain points. So pain points are those issues that give you headaches just thinking about them. And so, when you're thinking about retiring, some of the pain points that I happen to come across or I think of throughout my, career as a law enforcement official at LEO, they vary. And so I'll say that, if you don't think you can retire and you got to continue to work, based off of whatever that kind of whatever your reason is, I want to address some of those. So this will be a series on pain points. Each pain point is different and requires thought into the why and the how to address each one. And so one of the first pain points I actually just wanted to talk about, not that they're in any kind of order and one is more important than the other, but this is the one that came to mind. I can't afford to retire because I have young children. So that can be a myriad of reasons why that has occurred. And I've heard different colleagues, whether they work with me or whether they were from another department, talk about their adult children and their young children. So just to talk about that a little bit. So if you say I can't retire because I have young children, sometimes there are folks who have had one marriage, they've had a set of kids, they've divorced, now they've married again, they've got another set of kids because their wife might have been younger or the husband might have been younger or whatever it is. They've got another set of kids. And so they're thinking, oh my God, I can't retire because we got to get the last one out of the house and through college. So for example, had a colleague who was like, listen, this is my second wife. We got 2 children. My youngest is 10. I'm 51. I'm a year away from retirement. I got to continue to work because I can't stop working because I got to put that kid through school. So whether they're going to private education, but they're going to go to college, I got to put them through college because that's what I want to do. That's what I did for the other kids. I want to do it for this child or my children. And so what I want you to think about in terms of, do I continue to work? I've got to work. Think about it like this. And I've got 3 points that I want to make in reference to this. First is called supplemental pay. So I'm talking about my folks who are LEOs in the state of North Carolina. We get what we call a supplemental pay, but you only get that when you hit full retirement. And so supplemental pay is actually paid by the city that you retire from, and you only get it until you're age 62. And the reason why it stops at age 62 is because Social Security kicks in. So just a quick brief. With Social Security, you can start it at 62, 67, or 70. That is actually another video for another time because there's a lot of things to think about when you're thinking about your Social Security. But either way, that's the piece on supplemental pay in reference to Social Security. And then the last thing I want to say about that is having a conversation about that. And so why leave that kind of money on the table? And what I mean by that is, in reference to my example, they're 51, they're about to retire, or they can retire at 52. Well, if they decided to retire at 52 instead of working, they get 10 years of supplemental pay. And so let's say they make $1,000 a month, which is $12,000 a year, which is $120,000 for the 10 years. Do you want to leave that money on the table? Do you not want to get that? I mean, it's just food for thought to think about what that means if you decide to do that. And is it going to be worth doing that? The second thing, qualified plans. Before I mention what they are, I mean, really, qualified plans, your 403Bs, your 401Ks. I mention this because the IRS views our money in 3 different ways. We call them 3 buckets. So one's a taxable bucket, the other one's tax deferred, and the last one is tax free. Your qualified plans fall in that tax deferred bucket. And there are reasons why we love the tax deferred bucket. There are 2. First, you get a tax deduction during your working years with your qualified plans. Secondly, your money grows tax deferred, so that means it gets a compound each year. What we hate about it is that when you get ready to take that money out, that distribution, you're taxed at ordinary income, which means whatever tax bracket you fall into and whatever the taxes are in that particular tax bracket that you fall into is what you have to pay taxes on in reference to that ordinary income. So you want to think about what that means for you in terms of, if I don't retire and I leave my qualified plan in, yeah, my money may grow, but remember that qualified plans, they are directly connected to the stock market. And because of that, the market's like a jagged edge. You get gains, you get losses. Now, of course, you can get huge gains, but you can also take huge losses. And so my question to you is, can you afford to take losses in your qualified plan when you're about to retire? Just food for thought. So if that person goes out at 52, well, then that money gets to sit for about 6 weeks. I know this because I've done it. And then you can roll it over to an IRA. And then there are other vehicles that you can think about moving that money into that can get no losses, but some gains. Just food for thought. The last point that I want to make is the peace of mind. So I'm going to talk about my experience and what I mean about peace of mind. When I first started as a newly minted police officer, I was so excited about being out and about and working with the coworkers and just doing it. And I remember thinking about all the folks in my career, illustrious career, that have retired as I've gone through. And so I think about the captains, because those are the people that you run into, and they're the ones who are, in your district or in your beat, or kind of just that thing. And listening to them and how angry, bitter, disappointed they were with the department as a whole. And I thought, ooh, that will never be me. If I ever make it to captain, I will never be like that. Then I had, some more time in grade, about 10, 15 years, somewhere in between there. I look back and I'm thinking about this thing, and I see another captain or two who are retiring around that time. Here again, still bitter, still angry, and hating on folks. Well, not hating on, but hating. How about that? And I thought, whoo, Lord, I hope that that's not going to be me when I get to captain. Because I knew I was going to make it to captain. That I did know. And I thought, oh no, I hope that's not me. Then I made it to captain. And about 2 years out before retirement, I realized, oh, this is why captains roll out of their departments hating folks. Hating situations, hating where they are at, and, so on and so forth. And I thought, oh, damn, that's me. I'm that captain who can't stand X, Y, and Z. Put a person in it, put a place in it, put all kinds of things in it. That was me. And I remember somebody coming to me and saying, Captain, I want to work for you before you roll out. And I am coming to work for you. And sure enough, they were. And they said, but I need you to find a happy place because you're not real happy right now. And I thought, what? What the hell is there to be happy for? So I had to take a step back and assess my unhappiness and where I was in my career. And I decided that this was what I was going to do. It really wasn't about me at the end. It was really about the people that I served. It was the officers first, the community, and the organization, and in that exact order. That's what it was about for me. And I knew that I had to do my job, and I had to continue to do it well. And that is what I concentrate on. And aside from all of that, that's what helped me make it through the last 2 years of my tenure as a captain in my department without just losing my mind completely. So I say that to say this: peace of mind is the utmost. It is the utmost of importance. And out of all the 3 points that I've made, peace of mind is the most important to me. Why stay? Now, you may want to stay at your organization because it's wonderful and it's lovely and you're having a great time. That's great. But I'm still saying, think about this. You must have a plan. You gotta have a plan. You gotta figure out if this is going to be what you need to do, or can you do something else? So this is why you should come visit me, April Brown at Zelken Financial Services, LLC. This is what we do. And so you hire that financial planner to help you create your wealth. Well, this is where I come in. I come in and help you decide what to do with that wealth and how to turn it into a retirement paycheck. And help you figure out, can you leave now or do you have to leave later? Or maybe the plan that you have is great, but most people don't really have a plan. So this is what I'm here to help you do. And you don't necessarily have to work for me or work with me. You can find somebody else who talks like me and go work with them. But find somebody who can help you come up with a real plan that is not going to put you in dire straits. That's all I'm saying. So I hope you got something out of this. My name is April Brown. I'm with Zelken Financial Services, LLC. Have a good day, and until the next time.